Hey everyone, thanks for joining. It's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card, Season of Thanks, and I made a wreath using this wheat and my Stamparatus, and I'll show you how I did that. But I'm using this Gold Glitz pigment ink. It's new in the holiday catalog, and it's a little bit different. I'm heat drying it to just make sure it's nice and dry, but I don't know if you can see the shine. So this is all the gold, and then the Merry Merlot. And the sentiment is gold, and the sentiment inside is also gold. It's really pretty. They have silver and copper, I think, is not available right now, and actually these are on back order till the end of October, but if you get your order in, you'll be able to get it when it comes in. But it is really pretty. You could do this with any color. You can do crushed curry and Cajun craze, or any kind of orangey brownie colors, I think. And then I'm using the Merry Merlot. So let me get my Stamparatus out. This is a stamp placement tool, and it's pretty cool. What I did was, I've done this before with the wreaths. You figure out what size wreath you want. I'm using a 4x4 piece of Very Vanilla here, and I made myself a 4x4 kind of template, and I just traced around it having the center unlined. So I traced it this way, and then I turned it and traced it this way. So this is what I'll use. Let me get my 4x4 piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to start it this way. So I did the first time I started it up here, I made it too high. So it's good to start it going in this direction. And then what I'll do is I'll get my my stamp. I have it on a block because I was doing the inside. And so I'll just walk you through it. It'll make sense. So I'm only going to stamp with the Stamparatus the Merry Merlot, and then I'll come in and fill in the rest. And so what you do is you place your stamp where you want it, and you close the door and kind of press to pick it up. And I have my magnet here, and let me just make sure it stays in place. You could put 2 magnets on, but I think this is good. And then I like to have a stamp case here, so I have something to press on. So I'll do the Merry Merlot, and I'm just going to ink it up. And this is great for making like Christmas cards, something that you're making multiples of, and press it down. You don't have to worry about any ink that gets on the side because it's not going to really touch the paper. And then you lift it up, and you're going to just turn it, put your magnet down. I am going to wipe that just because it's pretty dark, and I just don't want to get it on my finger. So I'm just going to wipe it off. Okay, so let's just keep going, and I'll probably speed this up. But one thing that is good with the Stamparatus is if you didn't get a good cover, you can ink it up and come right back down again and press it down. And it'll be really nice. And I'm not worried about the middle here because I'm going to cover that with my sentiment. So you'll see it just will come together. It's really beautiful. So I'll probably speed this up. Okay, so I'm all done. Isn't that pretty? So now let me just clean this off, and I'm going to clean my stamp, and I'll stamp it with the other color, the gold. So I'm just going to use my chamois here to clean it off, and I'll pull it off. And I'm just going to keep working right here since I have everything set up. Let me close this and start with the gold. Now when you clean this after the gold, I would rinse my chamois, rinse your chamois, because it is kind of thick, and you don't want to get gold when you clean other stamps on the stamps. So I just found it's nice to clean your chamois between. So I'm just going to go in between the spots. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a wreath. It's not, not perfection here. And it's really just so pretty. very easy to do. And again, I'm going to cover that inside with my sentiment. So there you go. And you'll see it's a little shiny. I am going to hit it with the heat gun, but I just want to get actually my sentiment. So with the sentiment, I just stamped it on a piece of Very Vanilla and then I punched it out. And I'm going to do the same thing, Season of Thanks. And I'll just put it right here. And then I'm also going to stamp my sentiment on the inside. And then I'll heat them all. So I want to make sure I go this way. And this says, may this season bring you smiles and love that will last all year. So I thought that was nice. So we'll just put that right here. And then I'm just going to get my heat gun and heat these up just for a few seconds, just to make sure they dry and they don't smudge. Okay, and you'll see I turned it upside down just to get it so it didn't bow too much. This will lie flat once I put it together. So I think we can get rid of this. And now I just want to do my inside. Let me put the magnet there and the inside wheat. So I'm going to actually, should have done this beforehand. I'll have to clean this up and get the gold off. And then I want to do the inside with the Merry Merlot. Oh, look at this. Okay. So I'm going to wash this. See how it has like a lot of gold on it? I wouldn't want to put another stamp. It does need some extra care, but it does come clean. Let me just see how it looks here. Okay. So I'll just run and wash this at the sink when I'm done making the card. And let me get the Merry Merlot. And we'll do the inside and then we'll put the card together. It's a pretty easy card and I think it's really pretty. I love wreaths. So I'm going to go kind of in the center, lift up, stamp, lift up, stamp. So I'm getting 3 shades of the wheat with one round of ink. How's that? And then I'm using some Designer Series paper. This is the, I think it's called Come to Gather, with the Gather Together suite. So we're going to put this on with some liquid glue, and then I'll put the other pieces together. So this is a fun little technique. I love my Stamparatus. It's great for making bulk cards. Like when you're going to make your Christmas cards, you can have your sentiment and you can just go right in. And it actually has another door, so you can put a stamp on here. There's a door that goes in here. You could put a stamp. Both doors come out. Of course, I'm doing this and turn around, so you can actually have 4 stamps going at the same time, and you can just whip through, do all of one sentiment, switch the door, do all the second one, however you want to do that. I think it's pretty neat tool to have. Okay, so enough on that. Let's center this within the border here of the Merry Merlot. Okay, and then we're going to, did I stamp it? Oh, here it is. I'm going to punch this out with my punch here. Let me do it from this side. And this is a 1.5 inch punch, and I backed it with a layering circle from the scalloped. So these come together. I was playing with it. This seemed too small for me. You can do, if you don't have a punch, do both circles. If you have 2 punches, do 2 circle punches. I just had this and it made me happy when I saw this together. It seemed like the right amount of border around it. That didn't really stick yet. Okay. And then I want to get my, I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back. I'm just going to tear these two apart. This is well used, well loved. So you could just use the outsides of your dimensionals. Use every bit of it. You don't have to only use the pieces that are the shaped pieces, if that makes sense. Okay. And then we want to put the inside in. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue in here. And put this down. Hope I'm in camera here. I'm realizing I'm way down low. And there you go, both cards. I think they're really pretty. Thanks for joining me, and come back again for my next video. You have a good day. Bye.